Welcome back to Poke Nation. It's an honor to have Corey Tarver. Welcome back to Poke Nation, my
I'm
man.
glad to be here, man. It's always fun. I wish you'd invite me more. I only get called once every little while.
He's the one that gets the guest, so blame him.
Yeah.
All right, next week we got our first home game, but just as important is our first block party of the year. It's our second annual block party series.
Yep.
Lake Charles Toyota and your family have been huge supporters for years of McNeese, and obviously are a huge supporter of this and help sponsor this event. What does this mean to you? Why did you really want to get involved in the block parties? And explain to Poke Nation all that.
Yeah, well, really the way it works is David Griffin just comes up with these great ideas, and then we just pay for them. That's how it works. And whatever he says, we just say, yeah, that's a great idea, let's do it.
Yeah.
But no, we just love entertainment. Like, we just want this to be a fun place. We want McNeese to be a fun campus for the students. We want Lake Charles to be a fun town for the residents. And so anytime we can spend advertising dollars on entertainment, we love doing that. And so we have this whole big, production team and equipment that we can, so we can cook, we can do movies, outside, we can do, video game tournaments, we can do big concerts, and the block parties is just a really cool way to do that on campus. You get the students involved, you get the community involved. Right. It's just a super cool thing. We love doing it.
So as an alum, you and I've had numerous conversations on how to move the needle, right, as a university and department. Why do you think the block parties have been so successful, and how successful do you think they can become?
Well, I think campus life is really important. I think it's an important part of the college experience for the students, and it's an important part of the draw, I think. Obviously, you're going to college to get an education, but you're also going to get the experience. I have a degree in mass communications, and I sell cars.
Right.
I'm not using my education, but I'll always remember that experience as part of what developed me.
Sure.
So I think, and I love my time at McNeese, but we didn't have, we spent a lot of time. We didn't spend a lot of time on campus because there wasn't a lot of cool stuff to do.
Right.
So I think there's a hunger for that on campus.
No doubt.
And I think there's also a hunger for it in the community of ways to get to plug in and engage. Right. And if you can do it for free, that's fantastic. That's one of the reasons that we love partnering with stuff like this, is because if there's no cover and no ticket, you can walk in, you can hang out, you can bring your family.
Exactly right.
All walks of life can come and have fun and engage. So it's great. We love it.
You've been around here a long time, so you've seen this school in a lot of different stages. What stage is it in now, do you think, as far as a build-up goes? Because there seems to be more of a buzz this year than I've seen in past.
I think so. I think we talk about that a lot internally as where we're going to spend our money, and we've been supporters of McNeese I was a ball boy wiping the floor down. Well, not here. This is way nicer, than what we had then, but figuratively right down there when I was 5 or 6 years old, and we've been McNeese supporters ever since then. And as I got into the business, it was just always we just gave McNeese money in support of McNeese. But the big thing I see different in the last year or two is the excitement and the energy around McNeese is different. It was always, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but it was always kind of like supporting the university was kind of like an obligation for local businesses for many years. But it's become a lot more lately. It's become a lot more exciting and engaging, and an opportunity to get involved. It's nice and it's refreshing to have businesses, the business community, and just the locals excited about it. So I think getting community excitement and involvement is important. I think winning games is very important also. Getting really good coaches and administrators that can provide an exciting product on the field and on the court is important. But I think what we're doing and what the community is able to do is help provide a really exciting experience off the field. Or what we're doing with the block parties is right around the field. We're not on the field.
Right.
That's Heath and his coach's job. But what we can do is we try to make all the tertiary environments right around the sports and right around the campus, make it exciting and make it fun. And I don't think it's been that way for the last 15 or 20 years.
Have you seen more of an investment in the town and the community into the program, and kind of a reciprocal from McNeese kind of reaching out to them?
It sure seems like it. We were talking before we came in about how just fantastic this facility is, and I know some of that's government money, but a lot of it is private funding, and so it's nice to see that investment into the school. And I think part of that comes from the leadership letting us as the business community and the rest of the town know that it's appreciated. You know that there is a reciprocity there. If we're getting exposure and we're getting good back and forth with the school, then the community is going to feel a lot better about plugging in and investing in the school.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing since I took over is, honestly, Jim, is to listen. Is actually to go and meet, and obviously with Corey and his dad and David Griffin and all the people in the community that are huge support, and just listen. You learn a lot. My dad always said, you have one mouth and two ears for a reason, right? So, but without the support of this community, we cannot do what we want to do.
No, and I guess what I've noticed over the years is this used to be two campuses, an academic campus and an athletic campus. And for the first time I see there's a blending of the two. Do you notice that? Do you guys notice that?
Yeah, I think getting the students involved, whether they're engineering students or nursing students or whatever, getting them to the football games and vice versa, that's critically important to the atmosphere of the school.
When we come back on Polk Nation, David Griffin will join us after this.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. Our second guest, David Griffin. Great to be here. Thank you for being here.
Great to be back. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. It's always good to be here.
Well, listen, we just talked to Corey.
Yep.
And obviously Lake Charles Toyota and Legacy Jewelers are the two big sponsors of the block parties. And this is the second year that you and Kimberly have jumped on board of this. Why? Tell Polk Nation why the block parties. I mean, obviously you do so much for this university and this department and for this community, but why have the block parties been so important to you?
It really goes back to fan engagement for us. It's a way to engage the fans Friday nights, get people on campus, kind of start building the excitement. We're talking about what is the fan experience for the weekend, not just the game, not just tailgate, but how do you extend it? And it's hard to go into Sunday, so you start backing up, and it's like, well, hey, what do we got going on Friday night? And so we like music, we like fellowship, we like good food, we like just hanging out with our friends. It's like, let's throw a block party. Yeah.
Well, it's and the thing is that I've said this all along that. And being in Montana State last week, they literally told me, I've had numerous people tell me that their tailgating experience started when they came here in 2002.
Wow.
We have the best tailgate in FCS.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
But now with the block parties, we're taking it to another level. How do you think that, because we talked about this obviously when we started this idea, but how do you think that helps with the university as far as engagement and student recruitment?
I think a huge part of your college years is you got to ask the question, what's it like to be a student here? Right. It's not just about academics. I mean, that's why you're here. That's a huge part, but it's the life outside of the classroom, and you want to have fun, you want to have stories, you want to have fellowship, you want to make memories with your friends. And if you can create a great game day experience, that's part of it. I mean, we've all been to schools where it's like you walk in and it's just like, this is incredible. Yeah. And I know that's here. I think after Laura, and we always go back to post Laura, everybody got into the rebuilding mindset. We're rebuilding our homes, rebuilding our businesses. It's like, why not rebuild the game day experience? Why not rebuild the college student experience? Right. While we've got the mindset going, Corey talked about, hey, you've got some businesses that are stepping up, and I'm excited to see the new businesses coming on board as sponsors and partners. Businesses are wanting to reinvest. Let's start rebuilding it. Let's rebuild that student experience. Yeah. And I think Friday is just a huge part of it. We talk about no expense. It's like, hey, bring your own coolers, bring your own food. If you don't have it, we got it here. There's no reason not to come.
Well, and here's the thing, Jim, before I turn it over to you. The great thing about this is that the bands we have are legit bands. Oh, yeah. That bring a couple thousand people to the Nugget. I mean, they're really, really good. And without David and Kimberly and Legacy Jewelers being able to, really step up and bring these bands in, we couldn't do it.
Well, now you're a band promoter. The guy does
concert.
Everything. The guy does every concert, man. David, I guess my question to you is this, is you've seen, because you invested big time with this building, the Legacy Center.
Right.
As you've seen this now a year and a half, 2 years into this, are you seeing that the interest has grown to where the investment is worth it now? And does that kind of make other businesses say, hey, it opens their eyes to this?
For us, absolutely. No regrets. It's been 100% worth it. Yeah, I've even told Heath he probably could have charged me more and we might have done it, but I'm not going to tell him that now because the contract's signed. But no, it's the value was there for us, absolutely. And as we've talked to other business owners, we've said, hey, the value's there for us. It's like not everybody can come out and do a legacy deal. That's not what we're asking. It's like our whole thing was if everybody does what they can do in this community, it's enough, And it's finding your niche. It's finding, hey, what am I really good at? Or, hey, what do I have to offer? And how do I partner with McNeese? It doesn't always have to be about the dollar. It's everybody thinks it's money, 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 and it's not. It's there's different ways to support. And so for us, yes, it's worth it. I think as businesses and other just private donors get involved and you see the level of engagement, it's going to be worth it for them. I speak from experience. And something you talked about earlier with Corey, and I'm glad you mentioned it, one of the reasons it's worth it to us is the questions. Hey, what can we do different? After every Friday night concert we had last season, Heath would come out and say, hey, what can we do different? What can we change? What can we make better? And it's not just to the donors and sponsors and partners, it's the fan base. I hear Heath and I hear Dr. Burkell asking those questions, Dr. Roos, I hear them asking those questions. They're open, they're humble, they want to be hungry, they want to know what's going on. So.
Do you notice the difference as in they want to be a part of or at least want to get input from everybody? Because it does seem like the big change has been they've invested in the community's reinvesting in them.
Yes.
There's now a partnership.
I see it now more than I've seen it the past decade. We've been here right at 10 years, and I see it now more and stronger than ever. Absolutely.
Well, and I think too, it goes back to without great partners, you can't ever move the needle.
Right.
And the nice thing is that the conversations that I've had with David and obviously Corey and some other really key members in this community is expressing to them where we're trying to go.
Right.
And this is a big thing. Like, look, our commissioner is coming down here. We have a film crew that's going to film this because we do have the best FCS experience. We have so many great things. We just have not been able to brand it right and be able to sell it, and that has changed.
Who's the first band?
The Chiwis.
Yeah.
And it's free admission. Here's the thing. And
We don't need to sell it.
and Corey and David said this. It's free. It's free parking. It's free admission. And if you want to become a MAF member for $150, you can drink as much beer as you want every single Friday and Saturday. I mean, for $150, I don't know about you, but I go to the bar once a week and I can spend that.
Yeah.
You can do that 6 times, 12 days.
I don't know if I can go out in public and say that all the time.
And if you don't, look, and if you don't, you can bring your yard chair, you can bring your cooler. There's food trucks there.
Yep.
I mean, it's the best party in Lake Charles, and it's free.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll go on Heath's tab. Finish up after this.
Good stuff.